Good afternoon, everyone. We had a very nice session in the morning. You guys cooperated really nicely. Now we'll have a lecture by Dr. Mohinder Singh. He is an eminent historian. He did his seminal work on the Kali movement. He earned his PhD on the Kali movement. And he'll be giving you an illustrated talk featuring rare photographs and paintings of Akali movement. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you today's dignitaries. We have among us Mr. Sardar Harcharan Singh Nag. He is the senior.
With the Kali movement became not only a liberation cry for free gurdwaras from the clutches of those who practiced casteism and were going against the very principle of Sikhism, but rather it became anti-national, you could say anti-colonialist movement. This is one important thing. Sir is also going to tell, he is the repository of knowledge. He has with him all the sources. Contemporary photography is also there. That is for you to understand and consume and realize that those who participated in the movement, they remain non-violent, adhering to what is known as passive resistance. So taking on to oneself to the extent of self-annihilation so that good would come out of it. So I'm sure we are going to have a very informative, you can say, presentation for all of us. And as students and gradually going to be for higher education and now under NEP when fourth year research is also being introduced, I'm sure some of you are going to take interest in your own history. It is not local history, it's national history. So that situation, or you can say that kind of reclaiming is also being required, and it's very contemporary and important for us that we should be remembering. I'll stop with this is very important, that we must shun this practice of reading present into past. Akali movement was a movement of people of Punjab. Those who were Sikhs, they directly participated and everybody empathized with it. The whole nation was with it. So, when we read our history across time and space, then corrective comes in. So, very best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for extending a warm welcome and giving an apt orientation to what is going to follow to such lecture. Now I would like to invite Dr. Mohinder Singh. He is Punjabi ch kende ne ruhe rawa Bhai Veer Singh Sahitya Sadan de. So sir, please come. He is Director General of Sadan.
Welcome friends. I think first of all I must express my gratitude to Mr. and Mrs. Nag. You know, traveling these days is very difficult. From a farmhouse in next to Maroli, he has managed just to, he is Senior Vice President, and Mr. Sodi, our trader, the Director Sahib and his wife. So, and then I'm very happy to notice large number of Sikh girls or women, whatever you call it. Normally all religions talk of equality, but they do not practice equality. Our Sikhs boast that we talk of equality, but in the Golden Temple, he allowed them to do, and who stopped it? Can you guess? The next president was a lady called Jagir Kaur. A lady stopped ladies equality. So now for you, I normally get derailed, I'm telling that I get a stay. I like to quote, and I again started talking nonsense. I said, I come from a tradition which is small, numerically Sikhs are very small in the world, but they talk of equality. And I don't see any mother being, Pope's mother might have given birth. If Pope is intelligent or whatever, some credit should go to his mother, who conceived him, reared him. But so when there was lunch, all hierarchies, why Sikhism or Islam, the number two man in the hierarchy, cardinal, he says, no, you have exceeded the brief. You are not supposed to say this. It's okay. When he started speaking, without his permission, I took the mic. The man I asked, why you do not invite women? His answer was, women are not intelligent, to which I really got provoked. I said, if his mother was a duffer, he would have been duffer pope, isn't it? Surely mother was intelligent, isn't it? Then he says, where are the intelligent women? I told him there's a lady called Dana L. Eck, professor of head of religion, Harvard University. I'm told Harvard is world's best university. In the best university, best department headed by a lady called Dana Eck. So, again, we're going to talk about a movement where ladies played a big role. My friends, I must share with you my agony, my pain, my fear. Today is 20th February. This is the day when 130 of innocent Akalis, they were killed. Some of them who were not killed, they were tied to a tree, kerosene oil poured on them and burned. I'll show you the. And then, I'm sorry, I'm not very popular with the Gurdwara management. They didn't care to celebrate. Observe, not celebrate. Observe the event. And Nag Sahib encouraged us. He says, if they are not doing it, let this institution do something. So that is why we called you and gave you a topic. I'm really glad that this movement, about which not much is known, you all agreed to read about it, write about it. No, it's not important, you must get a first prize. No. It's important you participated. So I'm thankful. Now, Professor Basra has made my job easy. She has given beautiful introduction about the Akali movement. Now, first, this is Bhai Veer Singh. Again, if you close your eyes, imagine, what do you think of him? When you see a man with big beard, you imagine he should be illiterate, we do not know English, isn't it? So here is a man called Bhai Veer Singh. And I tell you a story. There is a gentleman called N.N. Vora, who was governor of Jammu and Kashmir, who went to get a book released from him. He told me a story. He says, Mohinder Singh, do you know I was teaching English literature? I said, yes, sir, I know you were a gold medalist in English. Then he said, I decided to do my PhD in English. My teacher told me, go and take advice from Bhai Veer Singh. He says, I felt very funny. Bhai Veer Singh? What we tell her? I'm doing PhD in English. And he says, I got 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes talk, he says, Kaka tu siyana lagda hai, theek hai? You understand? Kaka tu siyana lagda hai. Baja, tera topic main decide karanga. He says, मुझे बड़ा अजीब लगा कि भाई के मैं decide करेगा. He suggested a topic. Then he says, my fear was, where are the books? He says, Aya. His books were Western literature full, all. Because he and his brother, Dr. Veer Singh, was DSc from London University. They read all these books. The other companions were Professor Puran Singh, gifted people. And a man called Dr. Khudazad, who did a PhD from Germany. So Bhai Veer Singh is enjoying the company of intellectuals, somehow who made him our own Bhai, not now again. Next we can, this young man. Okay. Now, in the morning, I made a change in the presentation. Have you seen this type of picture of Guru Nanak? Not many. This is my favorite picture because this conveys a message. Now, there is a great man called Nanak. There are two Nanaks. When I spoke about this, some people objected. I said, yes, there are two Nanaks. Nanak is the sixth. I claim he is our Guru. And other Nanak is bigger Nanak. Nanak of humanity. Nanak's concerns were not for security. His concerns were for humanity. And this picture is very symbolic. 15th century, India was ruled by the Mughals. You know, whenever, even today, a ruling elite has some arrogance. And in India, we were lucky, we had saints, Bhagats. They started Bhakti movement. And Guru Nanak came with a new idea, let us unite people. So this picture for me is important. There is a man called Mardana and Bala. So Guru Nanak is now a bridge between the two communities, the Muslims and the Hindus. Sikhs were later, isn't it? Now Guru Nanak traveled. Some people question, how could he travel so much? I said, because of determination. I was a student of history who studied how Chinese travelers came to India. Izing Hinsang. And he writes, what was my guide? He says, on the way, there were dry bones of the dead. This means some people have come up to this, so let us walk on. And there was a man who came to a kingdom of Kushi on North frontier for attack, for looting. You know what did he loot? Can you imagine? There is a monk who married a princess. They gave birth to a bride boy. His name was Kumara Jiva. So they captured him only, nothing else. And because they were impressed, Buddhism is a very, very important religion. Now they took away nothing else except Kumara Jiva. They took him to Nanking, was then the capital, isn't it? Asked him to teach them Buddhism. So he didn't know Chinese. He said, how can I learn Chinese? It's very simple. We'll give you 2, 3, 4 Chinese wives. Then you learn Chinese, isn't it? Now, this is how, if you have a determination, you can travel. Guru Nanak went to Makkah. We all know non-Muslims cannot go to Makkah. He wore a dress of a Haji, and then he was asked a question. Guru Nanak was carrying a small book with him. Uchchan khol kitab nu, Hindu vadda ke Musalmanoi. Baba ake Hajiyan, Shubh karma bajon zomeroi. Who is big? There was a debate in India. Even now there is a debate. Who is big? Which community is big? Superior. He said, Shubh karma. Those who have good actions, they are great. I am not bothered whether Hindu, Muslim, Sikhs. He said, I am not bothered. That was Guru Nanak's message. Now, to the real issue, that the Akali movement. This was a movement launched to reform the Gurdwaras. Gurdwaras earlier they were called Dharamsal, where Dharma could be practiced. Later on this came to be called Gurdwara, but I noticed a new practice these days. When I went to meet my children in US, they called it Gurughar. To my mind, this is a good idea. Not Dwar, Kar, where Guru resides, Guru Gar. So anyway, Gurdwaras, you might have seen most of the Gurdwaras, and we'll talk about Akalis. The word Akalis is, there are two words, Kal, Akal. Kal is subject to death. Akal is deathless. Now how you become deathless? It's possible. Guru Tegh Bahadur became deathless. His three companions, they conquered death. When you conquer the fear of death, what's the worst fear? In the morning I get my BP checked up, take some tablets. My daughter reminds me sometimes, even in the US, Papa, have you taken medicines? So fear is, I may not get blood clot, I may die. So I'm afraid of death, isn't it? Most of us were afraid of death. Accident ho jayega, car te anna chalana. So if you conquer the fear of death, you become from Kal to Akal. Now imagine, close your eyes for a minute. Imagine what you think of them. Ferocious. देख के डर लगता कि नहीं लगता ना because we haven't able to tell who these people were. Akalis were those people who will take control of Gurdwaras not being misused. There is a big Sikh emperor, king Ranjit Singh. He did something wrong because he married a Muslim woman. They called him to Akal Takht and he had to apologize. So that is, these people were so powerful, the big ruler could be called. For example, Naksa, you provide a bus? No, not Jals. So we should go to Golden Temple. Golden Temple has, again, it was called Darbar Sahib or Hari Mandir. Hari means God's house. Now it become God's house, gold. So what has no meaning. Hari Mandir is bigger. But anyway, it is a long story how it became Hari Mandir. Now this has 4 doors, meaning people from all the 4 directions, they are welcome to enter without any caste, without any other restriction. And they can enter, and thereafter they can enter the langar. I'm told nearly 1 lakh people eat langar in Golden Temple area. Now second is the Akal Takht. Now Akali movement started with reform in this Akal Takht. Professor Basra talked about caste. In theory, we have no caste. But in real practice, there is a caste. And how much? 10 minutes? Now there is, Guru Nanak was from a Bedi class, Bedi. Guru Nanak believed in equality. He believed in no girls and boys, they are same. Bedis are the descendants of Guru Nanak. When Punjab came under the British rule, they passed a rule, in Punjab, in west of India, girls were killed at the time of their birth, female infanticide, either by putting poison on when baby is chewing mother's milk, or they put her in a small earthen pot with cotton in her mouth. So British stopped this. Bedis made a representation. We should be exempted because we are the direct descendant of Guru Nanak. And the British are very, very intelligent people. He says, you should get double the punishment because your Guru spoke against female infanticide. So they then apologize. But still, I think real practice, I have a lot of Bedi friends. One I met in Chandigarh. He says, Sade puha nahi hundi. You understand? Puha. ਪਿਓ ਦੀ ਭੈਣ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਬੇਦੀ ਦੇ so that is a contradiction. So here in this Akal Takht and Golden Temple, I just said that everyone could enter, which is wrong. When it came under the British rule, they appointed Sarbra, the manager, who were generally Brahminical or they practice a caste system, not the Sikh gurus. So they prescribed that Dalits should be able to offer prasad at a given time. Isn't it discrimination? And one person who was Dalit, you understand Dalit, or he was not allowed prasad, to offer prasad. Next day he became a Christian. You know, what happened? It was a rule of the British. If you belong to the ruling elite, these days what is happening, isn't it? Then no rules for you. When he entered as a Christian, salute. Yes, you can. You are no longer. So that really created anger in the minds of Sikh people, especially professors of Khalsa College. They took a jatha of so-called I'm using, low caste, with prasad. When the priest refused, they said, no, you have to. And they forced them to leave the place. This is how this was a reform. This movement for reform started from Akal Takht. Now, this place is called Nankana. It was called Talundi Rai Pohiki. It was destroyed 13 times, the city. But after it became Nankana, it remains. And we feel sad as Sikhs, our birthplace of our founder, we cannot go. We can go with special permission once or twice in a year. So Sikhs, every day in the morning, in the evening ardas, they pray. We should have easy access to visit our Gurdwaras in Pakistan. Now the story. Here is a great man, Lakshman Singh Dharwali. He was leading a peaceful jatha of 130 persons to go. Their method was, much before Gandhi introduced this, just go without weapons, perform kirtan, and that will, I think, force the dirty people to run away. When they reached near the Nankana Sahib, they were told the custodian of the Gurdwara, Mahan Narayan Das, he is prepared, he had hired professional goons, you will be killed. You know what was the answer of this man? He says, Main ardas kar chukya. That was the sanctity of ardas. If you offer prayer, you cannot go back, you can't change your decision. So all went and they were mercilessly killed. And this, I and my wife, who have been to Nankana Sahib, this tree is still Jan tree. I don't know how you translate into English. A Jan tree, they were tied, some of them. Kerosene was poured and then they died. It's something to really, I cry time and again when I see these pictures. How do we do the cremation of 130 people? It's a difficult job. You can't make 130 different parts. So they are all put in a big angita and they are all, their final destination. Now you see a man with lathi. After this tragedy, Mahatma Gandhi reached there on 3rd of June 1921. He says, you are brave people. You have managed to do this miracle which no one else can. So now you join my movement and reform the bigger Gurdwara. Bigger Gurdwara is India. British says no. The Commissioner of Lahore Division went there. He says, no, you cannot occupy it. And they announced, anyone who crosses this line will be fired at. This man says, खड़ा हो गया जाके, ठीक है जी, मैं defy करता, मैं नहीं तो डकाना मंदा, गोली मारा मैंने. If you are brave, they can't kill you. So this man, he says, no, it's Gurdwara is ours. It doesn't belong to Britishers. So he took charge of the Gurdwara. So we would like to celebrate the people. Other man, he wrote a very good book, Gurbakh Singh Chabalia. There are Guru Granth Sahib, might have seen, there are different versions, different copies. This one is lying in Akal Takht. There are bullet marks in this. This man has published a book, and we have this if you want to come and see at some time. Not the original, but the digitized copies. Now I'm talking about Golden Temple. On the top of the Golden Temple, this, when you enter Darshan Jodi, this is Tosha Khana. Tosha Khana is where you keep your precious items. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, I must say one word about him. How he was great. You know, on the northwest frontier, we have tribals who cannot be controlled. Britishers could not control them. Russians couldn't control them. Americans could not control them. But this man called Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he controlled them. And he had a general called Hari Singh Nalwa. He created such a fear, if the small child is not behaving, they'll say, Chup Shah, Hari Aaya. Hey boy, chup, stop crying. Stop making noise because Hariya is coming. So Hariya was a fear for the Pathans. Now, British took away the keys because there is Tosha Khana, and we're lucky we have been able to see most precious things are there. You can't value them. And Ranjit Singh's son was to get married. He was presented with a big sera, you know this. He said, no, this is too good for my son. It should go to the Golden Temple. And there are so many precious things. So British Deputy Commissioner took away the keys. The Akaris launched a morcha called Chabi and the Morcha. There was so much of agitation. The Britishers got afraid. They wanted to return the keys. And there's a man called Baba Kharak Singh. He says, no, the British officers should come at my convenience. I will not go and take the keys. And they came. And Mahatma Gandhi, who had launched non-cooperation movement in 1920, this is 21, he sent a telegram. First battle for India's freedom won. Congratulations. That was the victory of Baba Kharak Singh and the volunteers working under Baba Kharak Singh. If you go from Bangla Sahib to Hanuman Mandir, what is the name of the road? Baba Kharak Singh Marg. So Baba is remembered because he sacrificed. There is a Gurdwara in Pakistan. There is a story that Guru Nanak stopped a big piece of hill with his Punjabi with his hand, and this became Nankana Sahib. The Sikh volunteers, they were arrested in Guru Ka Bagh, Amritsar. Their number was too much. They couldn't be accommodated in jail. They had to be sent to Atak, North Frontier, by a special train which will not stop on the way. The Sikhs said this train must be stopped in Nankana Sahib so that we can feed our hungry brothers. When they didn't agree, they lied on the railway track. And they were killed. But train was stopped. And they were able to offer langar to the prisoners. Akali Morcha at Guru Ka Bagh is near Amritsar. Now it's all lush green. At that time it was not lush green. the Sikhs were cutting trees to be used in the kitchen of the langar. The Mahant of the Gurdwara lodged a complaint. My property is being stolen. Dry cricket tree is not a property, but they started arresting them. One man, in fact, two people, not one, young friends, I'd like to give you advice. I'm a teacher who have stereotypes. Christians are like this, Hindus are like this, Muslims are like this, isn't it? We've already formed opinion without dealing with them, isn't it? So this man was a Christian missionary, CF Andrews. He was called Dina Bandhu, friend of the people. And he intervened. He went to Guru Ka Bagh, saw the beating, and then he went to meet the governor. And then, with his intervention, beating stopped. Another man, there's something called Gangaram Hospital. There are Hindus or whatever you call them, they are friends of the Sikhs. So he took the land on lease. He was very, very rich. Most of the buildings were made by him, designed by Bhai Ram Singh. And he said, no, brothers, this is my land, you can cut any number of trees. The movement stopped. Next, I should be a little quick. CF Andrews, after seeing the beatings, he went to meet the governor in Lahore, who was Edward McLagan. He asked him, are you a Christian? He says, yes, father, who told you? I'm not. I'm a devout Christian. He says, you talk of one Christ being crucified. You haven't seen him. I've seen hundreds of Christs being crucified in Guru Ka Bagh. They were being beaten. Police was trained to how to use lathi. There's a booklet called How to Use Lathi. And governor was a genuine Christian. McLagan, he ordered stopping of beating. Now, in Naba, British ruled India very well. How? By creating divisions. They allowed the Maharajas, all rulers, to enjoy a good life. If you lead dirty good life, you are morally corrupt. Then you cannot face. If you lead a clean life, you become very strong. So they wanted the Maharajas to lead dirty life, enjoy it, and become dependent on the Britishers. But this man, Ripudaman Singh, he said, no, I like to lead clean life. When his father died, the rule was British resident would go and offer you a baton. Like we have seen this new parliament being inaugurated with Modi Sahib being offered it. What is it? Huh? Sandor. So that is the authority. He says, I do not want to accept your baton. I'll accept sword from Guru Granth Sahib. That is defiance. He was removed. And the Sikhs launched a powerful movement for his restoration. Now here is a story. Jathas went to Jaito, and two stories I must narrate. I don't know who can help me. On the right side, you see a Jatha of women. They were not allowed to go. Then women argued, you talk of equality in Sikhism, how can you stop us? So they went, and one woman called Balbir Kaur, I couldn't trace her sort of family, she was carrying a child of more than 1 year. He got killed with a bullet. She put the child in one side of the corner. He says, Vaheguru, teri amanat wapas kar rahe hain. This was your property. I am returning it to you. And after a few minutes, she is also killed. Now, can you imagine these women? It's not easy. Losing your child, not crying, not complaining. and who are not doing anything to honor their memory. Jathas came from Canada, and one of them was named Bhagwan Singh. He came, his wife wrote a letter to him. I'll say in Punjabi and then translate. Shaheedi jathe naal ja rahe ho, ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੋਰਚਾ ਜਿੱਤਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਵਾ ਚੌਥ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ, ਸਾਰੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਸਬੈਂਡ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤ ਹੈ, ਠੀਕ ਰਹੇ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਤਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋਣਾ, ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਣਾ। That is the character of the woman who really were. It's a long story, I should not talk about it. These days, you know, there is a condemning Nehru. Earlier there was a fashion to condemn Master Tara Singh. You know, every time there are something, it starts. Nehru went to express sympathy with Nehru, Gidwani and Santhanam. They were arrested. And how? Two people were tied together. And Nehru writes in his autobiography and introduced Naba, then his biography published by S. Gopal. He says, when I want to change my side, I have to take permission of the other one because two of them were tied together. First time he saw a jail. Other year, you know, Nehru, Motilal Nehru's son. He was provided all facilities. Here, when he was being arrested, he asked under what rule. Man says, this is Naba state, no rules. बड़ा साहब का ऑर्डर है, आपको अरेस्ट करना है। किस रूल? कहते हम रूल नहीं पढ़ते। महाराजा राजा जो if a magistrate goes on leave, doctor becomes magistrate. If doctor goes on leave, magistrate becomes doctor without any knowledge of medicine because बड़ा साहब का ऑर्डर है। Now he wrote very moving account. He says, I'm really great admirer how the Akalis have managed to fight the government. This Khadek Singh Marg we're talking about, Baba Khadek Singh says no. He was produced before the magistrate. He says, I do not consider, who are you? You are Takeda Banda, tu kaun hai? Magistrate hai. Main ki hega? Shromani Committee da Pradhan. मेरी असली है अमेरिका से प्रधान वर्गी, तू कौन है? कहते स्टेटमेंट, कहते नो स्टेटमेंट, यू आर यूजलेस, आई डोंट बॉदर. He was given 4 years extra in prison. And where he is? In a jail, in the cold climate. And you will not believe these stories. The British government, they put ban on the Gandhi cap. You cannot wear Gandhi cap. Baba went on protest. He will not eat his food. He says, Baba, tanu ki handa? Tu to pagdi banda, tu to topi panda hi nahi hai na? Why are you bothered? You don't wear topi. He says, no. Guru Tegh Bahadur sacrifice for the religious freedom of others. My Hindu friend Dina Nath in Ajnala, till he wears topi, are allowed to wear topi, I will not wear turban. Imagine. You know, if you struggle, you do not get anything. You know, what we do is, in return, we get small jobs, isn't it? Governorship and all that. He said, no, nothing. So this Baba was one of the great leaders. Now another great leader, Master Tara Singh. There's Maulana Azad, Rajgopalacharya, Jinnah. They were the great people. There are many stories about Tara Singh. Yesterday I was listening to another YouTube. You know, he was headmaster of his school. Salary was 35 rupees per month. He says, I need only 15 rupees because I can manage with that. He took 15 rupees per month, not 35. When he became president of the ICPC in Amritsar, people went to meet him. He asked his wife, "Anon cha pe ade?" Oh, cha nahi le aayi, duje डांट के सुनदी नहीं तू, चाह नहीं ले आई. कानज कहती सुनदी है, घर चाह पत्ती भी नहीं हैगी, चीनी भी नहीं हैगी, चाह किमें बनावा मैं आप? So they were the leaders, and today we have leaders, SGPC, Pradhan, they travel in Mercedes, they have annual sort of convention in Goa Beach, and our Mr. Sidhu will be coming. Now, all people, they travel by not first class, third class, take their own little tiffin. President of the SGPC, this Sidhu's, Swaran Singh's father was Pratapji Shankar. They carried there. And Master Singh never ate from the langar. He said, langar is for needy. I come every day as a president. I should not eat. Once it's okay, but not really. Now this man, Tejas Singh Samundri, British put a condition that you can be released from the prison if you accept our conditions. He said no. And he died in jail. If you go to the Golden Temple, I'll take just 5-6 minutes. If you go to the Golden Temple, there is places first day. There is Guru Nanak Niwas, Guru Arjan Niwas, so many, named after the Gurus. There is one place which is named after not Guru but a Sikh. That is Teja Singh Samundri Hall. Because this Teja Singh died in jail. And his grandson, last time he came to our function, Sanjeeva Singh Sandhu, he will sell his land. You know, when you are arrested, you have to produce a bail bond. To produce bail bond. Now, for every movement, you need friends. And I say it, and my present Akali friends are always unhappy with me. Those in the past, they were very, very intelligent people because they won over the sympathy and support of the newspapers. And can you imagine who started Hindustan Times? When I first heard, I couldn't believe. It was started by Mangal Singh Akali. They started Hindustan Times from Delhi. And then after 2 years they couldn't manage. Malviya purchased it. After Malviya the Birla, today it's become empire. But they don't own. They don't have in the Hindustan Times archives, but I have managed first 2 issues of Hindustan Times. You can see the original if you wish. Now one person I like to talk about is Professor Ruchi Ramsani. He was a great scientist teaching in Government College Lahore. You know, his problem was he was too bright. The principal was Gora, and again Gora arrogance. They think Gora is more intelligent. He said, no, come and debate with me. How are you intelligent? You are Gora, fine, but so in the evening he'll come from Lahore to Amritsar, not very far, eat langar there and write correct account about the Akalis. Now think of the Akalis and the leaders. Khare Singh, a barrister, Master Tara Singh, BA BT, Mangal Singh Gill, BA Tahsildar, Sundar Singh Lalpuri, English honors. सोचते ना खुली दाढ़ी कचहरे पाए अनपढ़ होने के बंदे BA honors in English. Professor Kishan Singh MA in English, Teja Singh MA in English, and then Teja Singh Samundri, he didn't have degrees, but he did a lot of good things. Now with this I think I end, and let us keep our eyes closed for a minute to remember those, a woman like Bibi Balbir Kaur, who sacrificed her son for the cause. Thank you very much. Now, friends outside who have put up an exhibition of based on translates, if you have time, you'll be welcome. And we'll all have to meal with us. You are all, please join us.
1 minute.
आ जाओ.
1 minute now करना ना बोल. 1 ਮਿੰਟ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਮੋਨ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ
ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀਗਾ। Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please be seated. We'll just end the program formally. So there are two things that you need to know. First is we have an exhibition outside from Rabab to Nagara. Second is we have lunch. You can join us for lunch, and in the next hall I'll be distributing the participation certificates. You have to tell me your serial number and I'll give you your certificate. ठीक है? Now I'll invite Sardar Parampal Singh Sodhi to give a formal vote of thanks.
On behalf of Bhai Veer Singh Sadan, you all, management and staff, I present my vote of thanks to Dr. ਸਾਹਿਬ। ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਤੋਂ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੈ। ਬੜੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਟਿਵ ਹੈ, ਬੜੀ ਰਿਸਰਚਡ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਡੀਪ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਇਹਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਾਂ। ਆਈ ਵਿਸ਼ ਹਿਮ ਏ ਲੌਂਗ ਲਾਈਫ ਐਂਡ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਭ ਲੀਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਸਰ।
Okay, thank you. Now you can join us for lunch. Te certificates ले सकते हो, ठीक है? No, no, next second batch आएगा।